morning. Welcome to Adaptive Chicago Productions. I am your host, Kenneth Borst, today. Discrimination. Profane word, isn't it? Well, those who are accused of it certainly think so. How dare he use that D word again? We talk about that D word many times on these shows because it happens to those of us with disabilities. Here to talk about such a matter is my friend Amirah Watkins, who is the guest on our show. Welcome to the show, Amirah.
Thank you so very much, Kenny. Thank you for having me.
Okay, now on with it. So tell me, what happened to you?
I was looking for employment, found a job listing with a transportation company in Niles, called them. They gave me an interview on the phone, and I was given a personal interview for the next day. I went there, spoke with one of the managers. They had my resume, talked about what it was, let me know that it was for a telephone reservationist to take and book the trips for Paratransit. The Paratransit company works with people who have various forms of disabilities. And I would be taking the reservation for their trip. The reservations are made the day before the trip. And so I would be doing that, booking them their trips. They gave me the schedule. By the way, the interview was done on October the 9th, and I was supposed to see the manager, but the manager that I was supposed to see had called off work. That was the Wednesday before the holiday of Columbus Day. And so they told me they would call me again the next day. And in the process of calling me the next day, while I was there on Wednesday speaking with one of the managers, I was told about the job, what the job entailed, given information regarding the salary, asked me about my schedule when I could be available. In fact, gave me the schedule sheet, letting me know that I had my choice because there were 5 positions open. They were looking to hire someone that could be available either for the early morning or the late afternoon. I was available for both. It was a telephone operator job. That was not a problem. I've been a telephone operator 3 or 4 different times. And so I couldn't see a problem with it. And the manager with whom I spoke saw no problem either and told me that he thought that I would work well. He did tell me, in fact, there might be a small problem because their training was on the 2nd floor and they are not wheelchair accessible. This is a federally funded company. To my understanding, they did have wheelchair accessible restrooms, but their 2nd floor training had no lift or elevator. And so I was told that shouldn't be a problem because the training could be done on the 1st floor where the job was. And told that they would get in touch with me to let me know when I would come back to bring Social Security information, that kind of thing. So the next day came, and I didn't get a call, and I called them, and they told me that the person with whom I should speak had called off again that day. So she had called off on Wednesday, then she called off on Thursday, and they told me that I should hear from them on Friday. So on Friday, I didn't hear anything, and I called them, and they told me that she had called off and that the office was going to be closed on Monday, which would then be October 14th, which was the holiday, and that I should hear from them on October 15th. That was a Tuesday. October 15th came. I didn't hear anything from them, and I called, and they told me that they would get in touch with me again. Later on that day, I got an email from the company saying, "Thank you, Amirah, for your interest in our company, and the managers have decided to go in another direction. What direction is there other to go? It's a telephone operator reservationist. You take the calls, you add them, you put them in the computer, booking trips for people the day before the ride's gonna come. I'm in a wheelchair. I don't have to go up and down any stairs. I don't need to move around and walk to talk. My English is good. My speaking voice is good. I am clear. I am understandable. And they told me in the letter that they would keep my resume and application in the event that something else came up that I might work out in. And told me, like I said, that the managers decided to go in another direction. Okay.
That was all the explanation they gave you?
All,
Is that
and they said, good luck with your job search. And that was it.
But that was all the explanation that they gave you, is that
all
they're
the
going another direction, and
explanation.
that's it?
That's it. That's it. Even after saying that the training on the second floor would not be a problem, should not be a problem, because the position was on the first floor. It's a ramp accessible. I could have trained over there. I'm looking at the people who are doing the job. I could see them from me waiting in the waiting room. And there were 5, maybe 6 different computers there in space at individual desks. It could have been done there, not a problem. So I said, okay, not a problem. And that was all I was told. So, a week went by. And on the 21st of October, I got a text message that said, Amirah, your training for the position will begin tomorrow, which would have been the 22nd of October, at 8 a.m. Please confirm if you'll be able to be here. And I confirmed, and I was like, why are they sending me this text message when they told me that they had decided to go in another direction? But then I said, oh, really? Oh, but they did say that they would hold my application just in the event that something else came that I might be suitable for. Well, they found something suitable for me to do, and so I was all excited about that, booked my trip to go there, and went the next morning. When I got there, both of the managers, the one that handles the drivers and the one that handles the reservationists, were both there. They spoke, and that was it, and I went into the waiting room. I sat there. The training started at 8 a.m. I was there at 7:45 a.m. And as I was sitting there, I saw 5 women come in that were going to the training. Not judging by appearances, I saw 5 women go up, and they spoke, and we're here for the training. Oh, we'll just go right on upstairs, second floor. And they went upstairs, and they went for the training. And so I guess it must have been 8:15, 8:20. One of the employees saw me there and said, are you waiting for someone? And I'm like, yes. I'm supposed to be going to the training, but I can't do the stairs. Well, just a moment. Let me have somebody come out and talk to you. So she went back in the back and came back and said, someone's going to be out to speak with you shortly. When the recruiter who I spoke with came out, and she said, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm here for the training. You sent me a text message saying that the training started at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, and I'm here. And she said, oh, well, no, I didn't send you a text. I said, yes, you do, and I have it here. So when I showed her the text, she said, oh, this was a mistake. You weren't supposed to be texted. You weren't even supposed to be on the list. Accept my apologies for this. And I'm like, okay, but what, you don't have a job for me? No. You were taken off the list. You just should have been taken off the list, and you were sent a text message by mistake. So, okay, so what are we supposed to do now? Well, now there's nothing else for you to do, but you can leave. So I contacted Paratransit to come and get me, and she said, no, don't worry about that. We'll make sure that you get home. And that was it. So I'm still trying to figure out. I've been a switchboard operator for a college. I've been a switchboard operator for a credit company. What's the problem? They decided to go in another direction. I'm still looking for the direction that they went into. Where can you go? How are you going to take reservations? Is it because I could not get upstairs? There was no other reason other than I couldn't go upstairs. Oh, yes, and by the way, the woman that I was scheduled to have the interview with never, ever, ever even came in my direction. She never spoke, never introduced herself, nothing. And I never met her, but I saw her.
Well, the whole thing certainly sounded suspicious to me, especially when you told me about it on the phone. I mean, because that's exactly what it is. And you saw five women go in there. And am I correct in assuming that those 5 women accessed the second floor by climbing the steps?
Absolutely.
Well, that's kind of what I think too. And I mean, that's certainly, definitely smacks of an ADA violation as far as I'm concerned. And, they are the last people that should be guilty of such an infraction when you consider that their business is persons with disabilities.
Absolutely.
And the
That's how it-
transportation
that's-
of persons
absolutely.
with disabilities.
Absolutely. And they're not just a local company. They're a company that not only has offices all over the United States, but they actually have a business in Canada. So this is nothing new to them. They didn't start this morning.
Exactly. So this is, so we're talking about a multi-million, if not
Oh,
multi-billion dollar company.
Absolutely. 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 With no kind of conversation, no. Oh, no. What was it that I could have said that I told them that I was available to start? I was even asked, if you had a starting day, could you start tomorrow? I said, no, but I could start Monday. Oh, okay, fine. Here's the sheet with the salary. I was given a sheet with the salary, a sheet with the schedules of the work times for 5 different positions, with the salary, with the time, with the break time, everything that a person would be given to make you believe that you were going to be hired. In fact, I was told everything from what I can see, you fit what we were looking for, so, you look for your interview call tomorrow. And I did. And that interview call never came.
Well, it sounds to me like you sold yourself very well. I mean, you did, when they talk about, because I've taken several job survival skills classes and stuff like that, and I've read multiple lists of do's and don'ts while searching for a job and a job interview, and that's the situation. I mean, you did all of the do's and didn't do any of the don'ts, as far as I was able to see, and the thing is, you were offered no accommodation. They told you could get the training could take place on the first floor, but they lied about it, and that's the situation, and just try to cover up by saying, well, you should have been taken off the list. You shouldn't have received that text message. Well, it's too late. You did, and everything. And I don't know how much you can say, about the case at this point, but have you considered next steps?
Well, I have in fact contacted a lawyer, and they are looking at it from the Disability Act from ADA point of view, and they're also looking at if it's a job that doesn't entail any walking or moving or whatever, if it's a job that she can do, why is it that she was not offered?
That's right.
Those are some of the things that they've talked about with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's being looked at, and it just seemed so unfair. Yeah, I don't think it was an age thing, because when I looked at the women that went upstairs, there was a woman my age or close around.
Mm-hmm.
There was a young woman. There was a woman who was middle age, whatever. I'm trying to figure out what middle age is, because all of them are in the middle of between 1 and 100. And so I didn't see anybody looking 100 go up there, and I didn't see anybody 1 going up there.
Well, that issue's controversial because I've been receiving, I'm 66, and I've been receiving mail from AARP since I was 41, so that issue is controversial.
Well, AARP starts at 40, just in case you didn't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, but, all kidding aside here, I mean, seriously, I mean, this is, and you don't think it was an age thing because there was somebody your age and,
Right.
and a woman your age, and obviously it's not a gender thing
No.
because the people you saw going up the
Were
stairs
all
were
female.
women, and
Absolutely.
and of course it's not a race thing, so yeah, it has to be. I mean, it's process of elimination, and
And just to think about it, because I use Paratransit and book trips myself, because that's how I get around.
right.
I've spoken with people whose English was just deplorable. And I'm not speaking about the conjugation of the verb to be.
Right.
I'm just speaking about the English in and of itself. And if someone says that they hear me and they cannot understand what I'm saying, they have an issue.
Well, yeah, probably a hearing problem
Whew.
or a learning disability, something.
And
but
I'm not going
whatever
there.
the situation
I'm not going there,
is.
Kenny.
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
going there.
Right.
You know.
Well, but be that as it may, I mean, really, this is the situation, the way it is. How do you feel at this point?
I needed the job, and I still don't have one. I am a retired social worker, and it just so happens that the money would have been very beneficial.
Absolutely.
So, there's no complaints. I wanted the job, and I would have liked to have worked there.
Mm-hmm.
And the opportunity was there. They just chose to not have me. And I've looked at other paratransit companies because to me that would be the best place for me to be. I use paratransit. I know about paratransit. I know how they function. I know what they do, and I would love to have done that.
Mm-hmm.
To be a help to somebody, if nothing else, maybe to train people on how to speak to people on the phone. As a trainer, I mean, I could do that.
Well, I look at it as from the standpoint of, here you are, a person with a disability who wanted to give back, and they didn't let you do that. It looks to me like they've prohibited every option that you could have had to give back, and the thing is, we're always looking for people to give back, and everything. Have you had any other strategies as far as seeking employment? I know you spoke with someone at another agency, because I helped you get in touch with them.
Yes.
Have you heard anything from them?
They have offered me some training to advance my computer skills, because that was a computer-oriented job. And I'm not the best with computers. There are things that I am good with, but that does not happen to be one of them. And there's always room for more knowledge.
Yes.
Learn. We're going to learn as long as we're here. And as long as I'm blessed with this time, I want to learn as much as I can. And if computers are the way of the future, I'm here and I'm here today. Tomorrow I don't know anything about, but I'm here today. And if I'm looking for a job and I can get some more training that will help me do that, then I'm available. And I'm seeking and I'm open and receptive. I'm open and receptive.
So you're going to take advantage of this opportunity to learn more about technology with computers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess I would say that we covered just about all the bullet points there, and thank you for being on the show, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Adaptive Chicago Productions. Have a good day.
Thank you for having me.